Broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hi, everybody. Welcome today to today's webinar for Women's Council. My name is Katie Lance, CEO and founder of Katie Lance Consulting and the Get Social Smart Academy. And I'm so excited for this webinar today. Big thank you to Women's Council Realtors for inviting me to host today's webinar, all about video marketing, which is such an important topic, such an important conversation to have. It's certainly not a new conversation, but there's so many things to talk about when it comes to video marketing, from YouTube to Facebook to Instagram, and tips and tools. So we've got a lot of great content for you here today. For those of you who don't know me, I run a social media marketing firm. I live in the San Francisco Bay Area. I formerly worked for Inman News for many years. I was Inman News' chief strategist, and in 2012 decided to go out on my own, and now I do consulting for the real estate industry. We help agents and brokers get smarter about social media. I've had the pleasure of speaking all across the country. I've spoken at the National Women's Council Realtors Conference many times, and at many of the state organizations, and it's such a great organization. So I'm thrilled to be here with all of you here today. Just a couple quick housekeeping things. We are recording this, so if you have to leave early or you miss any part of it, we are recording this, and I know they'll be sending that out here in the next few days. I'd also just love to make sure that all of you can hear me okay and that you can see the screen okay. So there's a question box here on GoToWebinar. I would love if you would just type the words yes or no in the question box. Just let me know that you can hear me okay, that you can hear my voice okay, that you can see the screen okay. Just type in the question box real quick, or put a little thumbs up in there so I know that you guys can hear me okay. Let's see here. I don't see anything yet, so I'm hoping all of you can hear me okay. Also, if you have any questions here today for video marketing or anything you want to ask me, you can also put those in the chat here. Okay, good. I see a few yeses. Awesome. Tanya's here. Fantastic. Thank you. Debbie says good. Awesome. Lots of yeses. Okay, fantastic. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate that. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive into the nuts and bolts of what we're going to talk about here today. So we all know video is so important. Most people retain 95% of the message in a video compared to only 10% of what they read in text. And, when it comes to video in general, I think one of the biggest values of creating video content is that it gives a sense of what it feels like to work with you. You really have a sense of what someone sounds like and what they're all about. And so often when I work with agents and brokers, they will ask me to take a peek at their Facebook page or have me take a look at their website. And a lot of times when I look at what an agent or broker is doing on social media, the common mistake is that I really don't get a sense of who they are. A lot of times I'm seeing agents and brokers who are kind of posting somewhat generic content, meaning maybe they're posting a link to an article they've read, or they're posting something about a listing, but I really have no sense of who they are or what they're all about. And that's really the power of video. Now, I know for a lot of us, we are a little hesitant with video because maybe we don't like how we look or how we sound, and we're not quite sure how to do it. So then we don't create video. But I have to be honest with you, I had a very good friend of mine a few years ago very lovingly tell me in a very candid way. She said, Katie, that's how you look and that's how you sound. So you need to get over it. And so I will lovingly tell that to you if you felt a little nervous about getting on camera, because it's certainly something that gets easier with more and more practice. And ultimately, what video does is it tells the story of what does it feel like to work with you. Because, anybody can talk about how to get your home ready for the market, or the top ways to find a realtor, or, just all the questions that we get asked all the time. But the thing is, nobody's going to say it the way you say it. And when we look at agents and brokers, we're getting a lot of business from social media, and especially with video. They're not just creating video content for the sake of putting out video content, but they're putting out video content that has their personality, right? That shows who they are, and they are really leaning into who they are and who they're not. I think a lot of times when it comes to social media, we want to come across really professional, which is important, but at the same time, sometimes that makes us sound really vanilla. So one of the first tips I can give you with any kind of content, but especially video, is to really insert your personality into your video and really be yourself. I think that's something that's so important, and it's something that gets better and easier over the course of time. And right now, a third of all online activity is spent watching video. So whether that's video on Facebook or YouTube or Instagram or all the different platforms that are out there, video is certainly not going away. But the good news is that it's easier than ever to create video. And I'm going to share with you some tips and tools and strategies today as far as how to create video. I've got some great apps I'm going to recommend as well. And by the way, as I'm going through some of this content today, if any of you have any questions, feel free to put that in the chat and I can answer your questions at the end here today. So I'm going to cover quite a few things today. We're going to talk about should you do it yourself or hire a professional when it comes to video. I'm going to share some of my favorite video content ideas, some of my recommended apps to create video, a few important video tips for real estate. I'm going to give you some tips when it comes to video on Facebook, even Facebook Live, Facebook video ads. We're going to talk about YouTube, social storytelling with Instagram, Facebook stories. We've got a lot we're going to cover. And then at the end today, I'm excited to share with you a really special offer. We run an academy. It's called the Get Social Smart Academy, which is an on-demand 24/7 learning platform where our members have access to all of our training courses. So as you listen to this today and you think to yourself, okay, that all sounds great, Katie, but how do I actually learn and how do I actually do all of that? We cover all of that inside of our academy. So at the end, I'm going to mention a special offer. We have a special rate just for Women's Council of Realtors, and we'll mention that at the end here today. And then, like I said, take time for questions. So feel free to put any of your questions in the chat. In fact, as you're listening right now and you have a burning question about video, feel free to put that in the chat and we'll get to those at the end here today. Okay, first and foremost, should you do it yourself or hire a professional when it comes to video? And it really depends. If you want to teach yourself, if you're someone who really wants to figure out video and you really are kind of enamored with the art of creating video, there's a great website called creativelive.com, and that's right up here on the slide. Creativelive.com is a great resource. They have some really great online classes for video marketing, but also things like graphic design and photography. And if you're that kind of person who wants to just figure it out yourself, that's a great resource. But if you're going to do it yourself, I recommend a few things. And by the way, I would say most of the videos I create, I do it myself. I shoot most of my videos just with a simple tripod and my iPhone. But first and foremost, you want to keep it short and simple. You know, if you've ever been on Facebook and scrolling through Facebook and you click on a video and the video is 2 or 3 minutes long, you might think to yourself, oh, 2 or 3 minutes, I don't know if I have time to watch that, right? 2 to 3 minutes all of a sudden has become a long period of time. So remember, video doesn't have to be long. It can be short and simple. You also want to be prepared. So when it comes to video, one of the things I like to do is always just think about what I'm going to say. I might just write down a little cheat sheet, maybe a little post-it note. I usually don't script my videos, but I usually just have a couple bullet points of what it is I want to talk about. Now, if you want to hire a professional, I recommend interviewing a few people. Interview 3, 4, 5 people. You know, reach out to your network on social media. See who people recommend. Sometimes the best video professionals that you can hire, a lot of times are outside of real estate. You know, in fact, we shoot all of our videos with our iPhone, but I also have a great video editor that we work with, and he does a lot of wedding video. So it's kind of the best of both worlds, where we can shoot a lot of it on the fly, but also work with someone who's a professional who we can work with on a freelance basis. And sometimes those wedding videographers, those are some of the best storytellers as well. And when you're hiring a professional, obviously you want to ask for samples, ask for references, and really what you're looking for is to see if that person is a good match with your personality and with whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish. Now, if you're going to do it yourself, there's some simple pieces of equipment that I definitely recommend. First off, you want to have a tripod, and there's lots of tripods that are out there. This is one that I use. There's a screenshot of it right here on the screen if you're looking at it. You can buy an inexpensive tripod for 20 or 30 bucks. That tripod will give you that stability, which I think is really important. We've all seen those videos with sort of the shaky arm syndrome. So having a tripod is important. Sound is also important, and you know, especially if you're outside, if you're at a property and the wind is blowing, the sound can be pretty terrible. So there's a great microphone called SmartLav by Rode. All of these products are available on Amazon, and that microphone can just plug directly into your iPhone or your Android or any kind of camera, and it'll provide great audio. And then lighting. There's a great case out there called Lumie. It's just Lumee. Lumie case is fantastic. Their website's actually lumiecase.com. Lumiecase.com. You can also just go to Amazon and Google Lumie, and it's a case that just clips right onto your phone. And with the push of a button, you'll get this really bright light, which really helps to illuminate your face. So especially if you're inside and you want some nice bright light, the lighting can make a big difference. So stability, your sound, and your lighting, those are 3 things that can make a big difference when it comes to lighting. Now, to be honest with you, if you're on a tight budget and you're shooting video inside, a little tip I can give you is face a window. Natural light is best. And so when I shoot a lot of my video, I have my face facing towards just a nice big window with natural light, and that can make a big difference as well. You want to make sure your window's not behind you, because then you'll get that kind of dark shadowed look over your face. So if you want to do it yourself, these are just a few tools. But again, just using your phone for the most part can be one of the best devices just to create your own video. So what type of content are we talking about with video? I want to share with you 5 of my favorite types of content ideas for video. The first is the Q&A. And this is where you're interviewing someone else, you're highlighting someone else in your local area. And if you're looking to really increase your following on social media and you really want to kind of jumpstart your social media, this is one of the best things that you can do, where you're highlighting somebody else. So maybe it's a local business owner, maybe it's your lender, it's your stager, it's your favorite restaurant, your favorite coffee shop. Small businesses in your local area are just dying for exposure and marketing. So imagine, reaching out and saying, hey, we would love to feature you. We're featuring businesses once a month. Can we do a quick Q&A? Can I come to your office? And you can shoot a quick video. And the reason why this is so powerful is you're highlighting that person. And 9 times out of 10, when you highlight another business owner, they're going to share that video. They're going to share it to their Facebook page or to their audience, right? So that is a small thing that can make a big difference. The second type of video content idea is how to, right? How to get your home ready for the market, how to find a realtor, how to, find a lender, all the things that we get asked all about. If you think about especially YouTube is really comprised of millions of how-to videos. That's how we think of YouTube, right? You go into Google, you go into YouTube, and you search, how do I ... So teaching something, especially a question, if you get asked a question more than once, that's a great piece of video content. And how-to videos can be really effective, right? How to stage your home, how to declutter your home, things like that. My third tip is Market Update Monday. Market Update Monday is great. It's a quick video you could do. Maybe it's a 30-second or 1-minute video you do every Monday. Again, that could be on Facebook, it could be on YouTube, it could be Facebook Live, it could be a variety of different places, but it's your weekly update of what's going on in the market. You don't necessarily need to go through every single stat. The whole point is that you're sharing your own opinion and experience of what's happening in the market. And when you put that Market Update Monday up on your Facebook page or wherever you're publishing that on Monday, there's no reason you can't reshare that a few days later. On Thursday or Friday, you can reshare that video and say, hey, if you missed my video this Monday, here's the market update for the week. Feature Friday, right? So again, this might be featuring local businesses, or if you are a broker, maybe it's featuring one of your agents in your office, or featuring someone in your community. Again, the idea of highlighting someone else can be really, really powerful. My 5th tip is Tip Tuesday. So maybe it's a quick real estate tip of the week. Just sharing a quick tip can make a big, big difference. And the key here with all this content, a lot of the content I'm talking about here is evergreen content, which means it's valuable not just today, but it's valuable again 3 months from now, 6 months from now, 12 months from now. So one of the things you want to think about with video content isn't just creating content, but also how you're going to distribute it. For us, we've been creating video content for years and years, and the last 18 months, we've published a new video every single Wednesday. And because we've committed to doing it every single Wednesday, it's amazing what happens, right? When you commit to doing something, all of a sudden it's on your calendar, all of a sudden it becomes a commitment, and it just becomes part of your routine, part of what you do. And when you're putting that video out there, obviously it's not just putting the video out there once, it's really thinking about where does that distribution happen. So for us, we'll put a video up on Facebook, but we'll also put it on YouTube. We'll do an Instagram story about it. I will share it over on LinkedIn. We'll put a few tweets out about it. We'll email it to our database. And so sharing it and distributing it also makes a big difference. And I mentioned this in the beginning, but really, really the key to doing video and making it effective for your business is leaning into who you are and who you're not. I think a lot of times we try to be all things to all people. And I would really encourage you to really think about, who do you want to attract? Who are the clients that you want to attract? And if you've never done this before, think about, who are the clients that you love working with? Those people who they've called you and you just love working with them and you really gelled with them. What was it about them that really connected you to them? And then the flip side, we've all had clients that maybe weren't really the best fit, that we didn't really want to talk to all the time. And so when you think about your content and your voice, think about who you want to attract, right? And again, this idea of sort of leaning into who you are and who you're not, which I think can be so powerful. Now, when it comes to creating video, you certainly, again, don't need a whole lot of fancy equipment. I want to share some of my very favorite apps to creating video. Animoto is a great app. This is an app that's been around for years and years. This is a great app to create kind of slideshow videos where you can take photos, take videos, it'll add music and create videos quickly and easily right on your phone. Videolicious is also a great app. This is an app that's been around for quite some time. There's a free version, there's a paid version. Videolicious is really great for kind of doing these voice-over videos, right, where you hear someone's voice, but you are watching the video. And it's an easy way to create videos like this. I've done this for events where I've done a quick video just kind of highlighting an event, but I've seen agents and brokers do this really well for property or community videos where they want to highlight a property or they want to highlight a community and they've got all these photos or videos and their voice is over those photos or videos. And this is a great app to create that type of content quickly and easily. BombBomb is also a great tool. I'm sure a lot of you use BombBomb to send video through email, whether it's through email to your entire database or maybe that one-to-one. There's also an app that BombBomb has, and that's a really great tool to, again, kind of break through a lot of the noise that's out there when it comes to email and social media. The fourth tool, this is a great tool also, is a pardon me, is a tool called Ripple. Ripple is a great tool to create GIFs or GIFs, I'm never really sure how to say that right, for Facebook or Instagram. It creates these graphics with photos, with text that kind of flies over the graphic, and that's a really fun app to create video as well. Another great tool is an app called Pick, Play, Post. This is a great app that creates a video collage. There's a little screenshot of this right here. So if you've got a couple photos and you've got a video, you can put it all together in a little collage that you can then share on Instagram or Facebook. It's a great way to kind of create what I call a snackable piece of content, right? A video doesn't always have to be this beautifully produced, 3 to 5 minute thing. It could be just a quick video collage, something that's 10 or 15 seconds that's here today and, may not necessarily last years and years, but it's still a great piece of content. And then two newer apps that I've been playing with a lot lately, Videorama and VideoShop. These are both really great, easy video editing apps. So whether you're creating horizontal video or vertical video, which is really popular right now, or square video, both of these are great apps where you can just simply kind of trim the front and the end of the video. You can add your logo, you can add some captions really quickly and easily. And both of those are really fun, simple apps. All right, let's talk a little bit about, just hold on a minute. Sorry, let me just make sure my screen is working here. There we go. Okay, so let's go through a few important video tips when it comes to real estate. Okay, tip number one, give people a sneak peek with a quick video. If you're in the beginning stages of video and maybe you haven't done a whole lot with it, a great place to start is do a sneak peek. I see a lot of folks in our academy who do this all the time. So inside of our academy, we do things like challenges, and pretty recently we did a video challenge, and there were a lot of agents and brokers who had never done video. They were really nervous, and so my challenge was for them to do their first video, and I said, okay, do a sneak peek into an open house or a new listing that you have, and just keep it short and sweet. Keep it to a 15 to 30-second video, and it could be as simple as you standing in front of that house. You've got the phone up and you say something like, hey everybody, Katie Lance here. I'm standing in front of 123 Main Street. This is coming on the market really soon. Hey, if you want more information, send me a message below, right? 2 or 3 sentences. It doesn't have to be overly complicated, but that's a great place to start, especially if you're at the beginning stages of video and social media. We've seen agents and brokers do this as well when they're promoting an open house. So you could say something like, hey everybody, Katie Lance here. I'm so excited. I'm going to be at an open house today from 1 to 4 p.m. I've got cupcakes. Come on by. For more information, send me, post a comment below or send me a message. So again, kind of short and sweet, giving people a sneak peek with a quick video is great. My second tip is cross-promote your videos. And so especially if you've already gone down this road of creating video, maybe you've been creating video for 3 or 6 months and you're thinking, gosh, Katie, I'm not getting a lot of traction. I want to encourage you to really think about your distribution strategy. You should be sharing that YouTube link to your email database. We do that every week. Every time we have a new video, we send an email out, and one of the links in our emails are links to our new videos, to our content. You can share that link to LinkedIn, over on Instagram. If you're active on Instagram, you might create an Instagram story about your YouTube video. We do this every single week. I will open up Instagram stories and say, hey, we just created a new video on YouTube. It's about, X, Y, and Z. Click on the link in our bio. It'll take you to our YouTube video. And so we're cross-promoting it in various platforms. Also, I would recommend that you take your video and upload it directly over to Facebook and then reshare it on Facebook again after 5 to 7 days. So if you've got a video, you might be putting it on YouTube, which is great. But for Facebook, Facebook likes when you stay on Facebook. They don't want you to go to YouTube. So take that video, upload it directly to Facebook. Ideally, you want to upload it to your business page on Facebook. That way you can boost that video. You've got video analytics on your business page. And then, like I said, reshare that a few days later. What's great about Facebook for a business page is once you upload a video, you can go back into your Facebook business page and then recreate a brand new post with that video a few days later, a few weeks later, which is great. And that's why it's important to create kind of some of that evergreen content, right? Content that's valuable, not just today, but valuable 3-6 months down the road. And then make videos fun and interactive. They don't have to be perfect. I think what resonates with a lot of people with my videos is that, my hair is not always perfect. My makeup's not always perfect. We're real. We're not TV stars. This isn't HGTV. So it doesn't have to be perfect, but you want to have fun with it. So smile. You want to be energetic, right? Whatever you have to do to get pumped up before a video. Maybe it's drink a cup of coffee or, I don't know, play some Beyonce, whatever it is. But smile, be upbeat. That's something that makes a big difference. Have fun and be energetic. All right, the other thing that helps is having a content grid, using a content grid for inspiration. For those of you who've maybe heard me on webinars before, you've heard me talk about this. I'm a big believer of having a content strategy. And I actually have a link down here at the bottom. I'm going to go ahead and actually put this link in the chat so you guys have that. For those of you who are listening to this live, this is a link to our content grid. And the content grid is something we created a few years ago as a way for agents and brokers to have ideas for content. And so a lot of agents and brokers will print this up, and when they're thinking about content to post to social media, they've got ideas. But you can also use this for video. If you thought to yourself, okay, I want to create some video content, but I don't really know where to start, this is a great place to start. So I put the link in the chat. If you put your name and email into that link, it'll just send this to you in a nice, pretty PDF that you can print up. And this content grid gives you about 30 ideas for content inspiration, which is really the name of the game. And by the way, I'm a big believer that if I'm going to sit down and do my hair and makeup and do one video, I might as well sit down and do 4 or 5. And I actually did that earlier today. We sat down actually before this webinar, and I set aside about an hour of time and created my next 4 videos for next month. So this idea of kind of batch creating your content is also just a little bit of an advanced tip that can make a really big difference. Now, another tip I'll give you with any kind of video content is think like a storyteller. So just like we learned in elementary school, have a beginning, middle, and an end. So in the beginning, you're gonna start off, you're gonna introduce yourself, and you're gonna tell people what you're gonna tell them. The middle is kind of the meat of your video. So I like to always think in bullet points, like 3 tips for this, 5 ways for this, 6 tips for that. It makes it very digestible. Think about the videos that you tend to click on and comment and share. A lot of times they have a number in the title because we know what to expect, right? So think in terms of bullet points, and at the end have a call to action. You typically just want to have 1 or 2 calls to action, meaning where can they find you? Maybe you're going to drive them to your website. So you might say, hey, for more information, sign up for my email newsletter at katielance.com. Or you might say, hey, for more information, please send me an email, katie@katielance.com. What you want to avoid is you don't want to give like 20 different calls to action, right? So you don't want to say, hey, find me on Facebook. I'm also on YouTube. Hey, you can connect with me on my website, call or text me, right? That ends up just being really confusing. So have a beginning, introduce yourself, tell them what you're going to tell them, have some meat in the middle, your kind of, points that you want to cover, and then at the end, have that call to action. Again, think like a storyteller. Now, when it comes to video on Facebook, Facebook is harder than ever to get traction. We all know this. The news feed has kind of changed. There's this algorithm. And really, to get traction on your Facebook business page, one of the best things you can do is put up video, whether that's recorded video or whether that's Facebook Live. And right now, people are spending 5 times more time with video than any other type of content on Facebook. And so how do you maximize video on your Facebook business page? I'm going to share with you 4 important tips. The first thing is you want to upload your video directly to Facebook. I said this a second ago, but Facebook likes when you stay on Facebook. You're going to get more reach, more likes, more comments, and more leads when you upload your video right into Facebook. The second tip is you want to create video that people could possibly watch with the sound off. Let's face it, most of us watch video with the sound off on Facebook. In fact, 80% of us typically never turn the sound on a video. So you want to put captions on your video. Now, I use a tool called rev.com, and that link is right here on the screen. If you're looking at the screen, it's rev.com. Rev.com is an awesome tool to create subtitles for your videos. The way it works is you take your video, you upload it to rev.com, and you pay $1 a minute for a subtitle file. So if I have a 3-minute video, I take my 3-minute video, I upload it to rev.com, I pay $3, and in an hour or 2, they send me back a subtitle file, which is pretty amazing. It's human transcribed, so it's, I would say, 99.9% accurate, which is awesome. So then you can go to Facebook, upload your video, and then upload your subtitles that you receive from rev.com. And then when people are watching your video, your subtitles will appear across the bottom. Just that one simple thing will get you a much higher percentage of people who are viewing and engaging with your videos. My third tip is to boost your videos. Spend a little bit of money when it comes to your videos. You may not be spending money as far as actually producing your videos. Pardon me. Sorry about that. That's what happens when you're doing a lot of video content. I'm going to take a sip of water here real quick. So boost your videos. Put a little bit of money behind your videos. It doesn't have to be a whole lot of money. You can spend $5 or $10. But so often I'll see an agent or broker, they create this great piece of content and then they don't advertise it. So, you know, with Facebook right now, it's a little bit of a pay to play. You don't have to spend a ton of money, but boost your video, put a little bit of money behind it. And the value is that it's going to get seen by more people. My fourth tip is then reshare that video 3, 5, maybe even 7 days later on Facebook. If it's something that's evergreen, you can share it even longer than that. But, you know, again, if you do a Monday market video on Monday, there's no reason you can't reshare that a few days later on your Facebook business page. Okay, another tip I'll give you on Facebook is you can actually create a video slide share for your listings or any kind of video content. When you go to your Facebook business page and you click this little button that says photo or video, you can upload photos or videos, but you can also create a slideshow, which is great. So if you're a little nervous to get on camera, you're not quite ready to get on camera, and you've got some photos, you can upload 3 to 7 photos to create a video right on your Facebook business page, which is really, really fun. Now, we can't talk about video and not talk about Facebook Live. Facebook Live is really important. I'm sure we've seen lots of people go live on Facebook. You can go live on your personal profile, on your business page, but I think it's a lot easier in a lot of ways because anybody can do it. It requires limited equipment. It's a great way to create content quickly and in the moment. And it also helps to build your organic reach. You know, Facebook came out with a big announcement earlier this year talking about how they're changing the news feed. And if you've struggled to get traction on your business page, I would highly encourage you to think about going live on Facebook once a week, at least once a month, as well as putting up video content. And video content and Facebook Live content right now is one of the best pieces of content. In fact, it's better to put up, I think, less content, but really, you know, quality makes a big difference. It's not necessarily quantity anymore. It's really quality. Now, I always get asked the question, what should I actually talk about on Facebook Live? And we created a little bit of a cheat sheet right here. The link is down here at the bottom. I'm going to grab this link and put it in the live chat. So for those of you listening to us live here, you can see the link. It's just katielance.com/Facebook Live download. If you go to that link and put your name and email, that'll give you 30 ideas of Facebook Live content. So things like, you know, sneak peek into an open house with the client's permission, you know, different, you know, again, sharing different tips and tools and reasons why you love this area. You can also do a Facebook Live where you're just kind of sharing. Maybe you're at a great farmer's market or you're at a great local concert. That's a great piece of content as well. What's interesting about Facebook Live is 80% of people would rather watch a live video from a brand than read a blog, and 82% are actually preferring live video from a brand to social posts. So, things have changed when it comes to social media. 5 or 6 years ago, we could kind of get away with posting a lot of links to articles and things from other sources. But what we're finding are that the agents and brokers who are getting 40 to 50% of their business or more from social media, the number one thing they're doing is they're creating their own content. And especially video content, which is what we're talking about here today, is so, so important. Now, if you're going to broadcast live on Facebook, I want to share with you 7 of my favorite tools. All right. Tip number 1 is be prepared. Again, going live, it doesn't have to be, scripted or anything like that, but just think about what it is that you want to talk about. Have a sense of what you want to talk about. My second tip is put your phone in airplane mode. And the reason for this is if you're broadcasting on your mobile device, if your phone rings, you will get cut off from Facebook Live. Your phone will trump your Facebook Live. So put your phone in airplane mode or do not disturb mode. That way you can still be on Wi-Fi and broadcasting, but the phone call, if you get a phone call, it'll go right to voicemail versus interrupt your Facebook Live. My third tip is save your broadcast. So after you broadcast on Facebook Live, you'll get a little pop-up which will ask if you want to save it. I always like to save it. You can save it to your phone, and that way you can repurpose it. So if you want to download it and then put it over on YouTube, or you want to share it somewhere else, you can do that as well. Tip number 4, check your hair, check your makeup. This is just kind of a personal preference. Before I go live, I always just like to do a little bit of a check. There's nothing worse than, going live and realizing, oh my gosh, you've got something in your teeth or, or whatever it might be. So just do a little check before you go live. My 5th tip is you want to create a catchy headline. So when you go live on Facebook, you can create a little headline like, check this out, or, get a sneak peek, or here are my 5 most favorite tips. That headline is a lot like a newspaper headline, right? You want to catch people's eyes. My 6th tip is you can toggle the camera, which means when you're live on Facebook, you can hit a button and it'll turn it around so it's either facing you or facing away from you. And so you might start off having it face you, but then maybe if you're showcasing a listing, you might turn it around so you can showcase pieces of, the house that you really want to highlight. And then my 7th tip, this is a little bit more of an advanced tip, but you can use a tool like BeLive.tv or Zoom to actually schedule your broadcasts. So some of the agents and brokers that we work with, they do a weekly or monthly Facebook Live show where they've got it scheduled, it's in their schedule, it's on their calendar, and they like to use a tool like BeLive.tv or Zoom because they can schedule it in advance and then they can let their audience know about it in advance. So if you start doing kind of a regular Facebook Live, you can let your email audience know, hey, catch me every Monday at 10 a.m. I'm going to be talking about X, Y, and Z, and here's the link. And you can broadcast that out in advance. So promoting it in advance and then also promoting the replay afterwards will also make a big, big difference. And here's just an example. This is Katie Clancy. She is part of our academy. And Katie is actually a great example. She creates a lot of video content. A lot of it's just like in her couch, at her house with a simple tripod. Like we talked about, she does Facebook Live, sometimes in the moment, sometimes in her car, in between appointments. But what I really like about Katie, and she's really grown her business tenfold. She now has a team, and she's been in our academy for, probably about 2 or 3 years now. She's a great example of like, it takes time. Things just don't happen overnight. There's no sort of magic, one size fits all solution. And she's a great example of someone who creates video on a consistent basis and has really built a business around attracting the people she wants to work with. She gets people who reach out to her who say things like, gosh, I feel like I know you and I see you everywhere. And those type of people are some of the best people for her. And she's attracting the people she wants to work with by putting out really great, valuable content. So that's just a really great example. And, she's someone who, I remember when she did one of her first videos, she was nervous. She didn't want to do it. And it's just like anything else. The more you do it, the easier it gets and the better you get when it comes to creating video content. Now, another benefit to creating video content is what you can do with Facebook ads. So one of the very best ads you can run right now is actually a video ad, whether that's number 1, a recorded video where you upload that video directly into Facebook and then you boost that video or you run an ad, or number 2, Facebook Live. After you do a Facebook Live, you can also boost that video or run an ad, which is great, which means you're going to get more exposure for your video. But the third thing that you can also do is you can actually go back and then retarget people who've already viewed your videos. So once you start publishing videos on a consistent basis, you can actually go back into Facebook's ad manager and start to retarget people who've watched at least 3 seconds or 10 seconds or 25% of your videos, or whatever percentage that you decide. And that can be really, really effective when it comes to running Facebook ads. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about YouTube. YouTube is the #2 search engine in the world. By the way, I know I'm covering a lot of content here today. This is a little bit of a fire hose of content. So if you have questions for me about anything I've talked about so far, put those questions in the chat, and we'll get to those at the end here today. And if you joined us late, we are recording this, and I know Women's Council is going to send out that recording probably here over the next few days. Okay, so YouTube is the #2 search engine in the world. It's owned by Google. And YouTube and Facebook are very different, right? Think about how you use YouTube. For most people, they use YouTube because either they're searching for somebody specific, right? Maybe you want to watch Jimmy Fallon's last video, right? So you're going to search his channel. Or maybe you want to find something specific, like you want to figure out how to, fix something in your bathroom or whatever it might be. You're looking for something specific on YouTube. Facebook is different. With Facebook, you're kind of scrolling through your news feed, you're at Starbucks, you've got 5 minutes, and if you happen to across a video, you might watch it for a few minutes, whatever it might be. So it's very different. They're kind of apples and oranges, but YouTube is really important in the sense that it's owned by Google. And so to help get that placement in Google, having videos on YouTube can make a big difference. Now, I can tell you just from a personal experience, for a very long time, YouTube used to just be the place where I housed my videos, but I really paid no attention to my YouTube channel. And over the last 18 months, we've been really intentional about spending more time on YouTube, and we've been able to grow our channel substantially. So I want to just share a few tips when it comes to YouTube. The first thing is titles. Titles are important on YouTube. So whatever your video is all about, you really want to make sure you have a really specific title for your videos. You also want to make sure that you're filling out your description. You want to make sure that you're adding calls to action, links to your website, your email address. You really want to have a complete description of whatever it is that video is all about. So if it's a property video, you want to put as complete of a description as possible in there. You want to put links to your other social channels. If you're creating content where it's more educational and you're sharing valuable information, you still want to write, at least a few sentences, a paragraph or two of text, of content, of what that video is all about, with links so people can get more information about you. You can also tag your video. So if you're a real estate agent in Denver and you're doing a video about Denver real estate, you want to make sure in your tags that you're putting in Denver or any other suburbs that you particularly work with, and you're tagging your video based on what that content is. And then you can also do things like add YouTube cards, which means at the end of your video or even throughout the video, you can add additional links. So let's face it, just like Facebook, Facebook likes when you stay on Facebook, YouTube loves when you stay on YouTube. So as you start to create videos, you can actually go back into your video on YouTube and link to other videos in your library, and you'll get people who are watching more and more of your videos. And the more videos people are watching of you on YouTube, the higher your placement is on YouTube, and it really becomes a win-win. You can also then embed your YouTube video into a blog post on your website. This is something we've been doing for years and years. We create video, we put it up on YouTube, but then we'll take that video and we will put it over into a blog, and we'll create a blog post about that video. So it's a really great way to kind of repurpose video. Some people don't like to watch videos. Some people would rather read the blog post. And, a few minutes ago, I actually mentioned a tool called Rev.com, R-E-V.com. Rev.com is great for subtitles, but Rev.com will also transcribe your videos, which is fantastic. So if you want to get your video transcribed to turn into a blog post, Rev.com is a great tool to do that as well. And here's an example. This is another example from an agent who's part of our academy, and he's really been focused on creating great local content. He is an agent in San Diego, and so he's got this great YouTube channel called Off the 56, and he's profiling agents. He's profiling, his listings. He's profiling just other fun things that are in his local area. And, again, he's been really focused on creating content. He does a great job of distributing that content and getting that content out there to more and more people, which I think is great. So that's a great example, I think, of an agent who's really starting to create a nice presence over on YouTube. He also repurposes some of his content. So you'll see some of this content over on Facebook and Instagram as well. Now, we can't talk about video and not talk about social storytelling. So if you're active on Instagram, you've been seeing Instagram stories. If you're on Facebook, you've probably been seeing these little circles on your feed. Those are Facebook stories. You might also be active on Snapchat, Snapchat stories. And so this whole idea of storytelling, it's a great way to kind of get started with video content, starting to get comfortable with video content. Instagram stories and Facebook stories can be video, but it can also be images or photos, and your stories disappear within 24 hours. So you still might be creating, video that you're going to put up on YouTube or Facebook, but your stories, I like to say your story is kind of the backstory, right? It's like the story behind the story. So just as an example, today I sat down and I created a lot of my content. I sat down and created 4 videos that I'm going to publish next month. Well, my Instagram story was kind of sharing that process. It was kind of the backstory. So as you think about, as you're out and about, as you're in between meeting with clients and you're leaving a home inspection and you just went on a listing appointment or you just got off the phone with a client, there's probably moments in your day where you can kind of take a step back and share that backstory. And you can share that through video. You can share that through, graphics that you share through Instagram stories and through Facebook stories. So, when it comes to really kind of telling your story, you can have fun with filters, with text, with hashtags, kind of doodling. I always say, look at your life as content. If you follow me on Instagram stories, you'll see, you'll see things with my 2 boys. You'll see me drinking a glass of wine, but you'll also see me traveling and working with clients. And, I'm a big believer that my life is not just one thing or the other. We all wear multiple hats. And that's where I think the storytelling, especially with Instagram stories or Facebook stories, is a great way to kind of start to tell your story and start to just feel a little bit more comfortable on camera if that's something that is a little bit newer to you. The other thing that's fairly new is Instagram TV or IGTV. So we have YouTube, we have Facebook for video, but we also have now IGTV, which is a standalone separate app that Instagram rolled out pretty recently. And Instagram TV is kind of the kissing cousin to Instagram. And so if you're looking at the screen right here, Instagram TV, it's vertical video, which is interesting. It's a really beautiful app, the way it's laid out. And when you create video on Instagram TV, you can actually just create it with your phone and then upload it directly to Instagram TV. What's nice about that is your videos also get shared over here. If you're looking at my profile, this is a little screenshot of my Instagram profile. That little IGTV button, every time I create a video, it automatically gets posted over here, which is nice. And it also gets shared in my notifications. So if I have somebody who I'm connected to on Instagram and they're scrolling through, they get a notification. Oh, Katie just posted an IGTV video. So it's one more way to get traction, especially if you are listening to this and you are putting a lot of focus on Instagram, which I think is a smart strategy. Instagram is growing like leaps and bounds. Instagram TV can be a great place to just, put out some additional content. We're using it as a way to repurpose our content. So, for example, we're creating vertical video, but then we're repurposing some of our video content. You can put up to a 15-minute video on IGTV, and again, you can promote it in Instagram stories. You can even actually add the swipe up feature for anybody, which is great. A lot of you know that swipe up feature is only really available once you hit that 10,000 mark. But when you're promoting your IGTV video, you don't have to be at that 10,000 mark, which is kind of a cool little advanced tip that I want to share with you. But we use this a lot to just repurpose our content. So, we already are creating video content that we're putting on YouTube and Facebook. So we're kind of repurposing that over on IGTV as well. And, it's a newer platform. So, obviously we'll keep an eye on it and see how that grows and what the traction is. But it's interesting to see, being able to kind of repurpose that content versus, creating all this individual content for each platform. Okay, so as we think about all of this, at the end of the day, it's really important to create a video content plan. If you don't have a plan, it's not going to happen. I can tell you from experience. And so whether you're at the beginning stages or whether you've been doing this for some time, where you start with video is this. You sit down and you brainstorm a list of topics. I do this every year. And if you're listening to this live, we're recording this live in the fall. It's such a great time. We're getting into the last quarter of the year. You're thinking about next year. And so I highly encourage you to think about, get out a pen, get out a notepad, and just think about all the questions you get asked all the time. You know, those questions where you think to yourself, oh my gosh, if I could ask that one more time, that's a great piece of content. Look in your email, look in your sent email of all the questions you get asked all the time. Look at your website, right? I would imagine on all of your websites, you probably have lots of content ideas from buying to selling, and just start to brainstorm a list of topics. So once you've brainstormed a list of topics, then you're going to want to figure out when you're going to create this content, and consistency wins. So my biggest tip I can give you is pick a day that you're going to publish content and stick to it. And it really doesn't matter what day. For us, it's every Wednesday morning. That works well with our schedule. But for you, it might be Tuesday afternoon. It might be Saturday morning. It doesn't really matter what day, but pick a day that you're going to schedule, that you're going to put out that content, and then stick to it. And I will tell you that consistency wins. Now, if you're listening to this going, okay, great, I could probably create one video a month, that's a great place to start. But I'm going to challenge you to say, if you can do it once a month, I bet you can do it twice a month. And if you can do it twice a month, I bet you can do it once a week. The more you challenge yourself, the more content you actually put out there, the faster your results will be. So if you're just putting out one new video a month, that's a great place to start. But if you really start to think about, okay, I could put out one every other week or one every week, that's a small thing that'll make a big difference. So that consistency will win, and you'll start to have people who will go, oh, I can't wait to see her video. I know it comes out every Saturday. I can't wait to see his video. It comes out every Wednesday. It's kind of like your favorite TV show, right? You know what times they come out. You might DVR it, but you know what days and times they come out. And that consistency makes a big difference. I also believe in putting on your calendar. You know, if I don't put something on my calendar, it just doesn't happen. So I love using free tools like Google Calendar or Google Spreadsheet. I use the calendar to put in when I'm going to record my video, and then I use Google Spreadsheet to take all my topics, and I have a big spreadsheet of all of our topics and what day we're going to publish those topics, right? So you can kind of map out the next 3, 6, 12 months. And then we think about how can we repurpose existing content, right? So again, if you go to your website right now, you probably have a lot of different tabs on your website, like community information and buying and selling tips and how to find a lender. A lot of that content that's already up on your website, I would render a guess that you could probably brainstorm those topics and turn those into videos, right? The number one question every new home buyer asks you, the most important thing to think about before remodeling. Should you remodel your kitchen or your bathroom? Who pays for what? Just all those questions, again, that you get asked all the time. A lot of that content's already up on your website. And then my last tip on this slide here, and this is a little bit more of an advanced tip, but you can use a project management tool like Trello or Asana to manage who's going to do what. So this is especially important as you grow, and maybe you have a virtual assistant who helps with some of this, or maybe at some point you decide to hire a freelance video editor to help you with some of these moving pieces. You want to kind of take the conversation outside of email. So using a free tool like Trello or Asana will allow you to put in your content ideas and really kind of assign tasks for who's going to do what. We've been using Asana for years and years, and it's a great tool, especially if you've got a small team who are kind of helping, especially with video. It can make a really, really big difference. And, you know, really at the end of the day, when it comes to video content, people do business with people they know, like, and trust. And, you know, if you've been to any real estate seminar or conference, somebody has stood on stage and has said this. But I will take it a step further and say people do business with people they know, like, and trust and relate to. And that relatability, that's what happens with video, right? You don't get that from really anything else. And so if there was ever a reason, a business reason of why to create video, it's because you will start to attract the people that you really want to work with that relatability factor, which I think is so important. And at the end of the day, social media is a marathon and not a sprint. What you do today with video is not going to help you tomorrow. It might not even help you next week or next month, but it will help you down the road for sure. You know, I know that the people who really are listening to what I'm talking about right now and really start to implement what I'm talking about with video, it can make a huge difference. You know, I was just chatting with someone at a conference. I was just speaking actually in South Carolina a few days ago, and I had one of the attendees come up to me, and she was like, Katie, you're absolutely right when it comes to video. She said, I started doing video 3 months ago, and I started just being really consistent with it, and it's already made a huge difference in my business. She said the key is just doing it, because we're all of us are our worst enemy. right? We always have excuses for why it's not the right time. We're not sure how to do it. So then it just doesn't happen. And she actually did a video recently. She said, I was at the closing table with a client and, got inspired. She said, we did a quick Facebook Live. And she said, on that Facebook Live, my client was telling everybody in the audience how great I was as a realtor. And she said from that Facebook Live, she ended up actually getting 6 new leads from that one Facebook Live. And so if she would have been scared, if she would have been nervous to not do it, that would have prevented her from having that opportunity. So I can't tell you how important that is to, again, kind of put yourself out there. The more you do it, the easier it gets. Now, I will say, if you've been listening to this going, okay, this all sounds great, Katie, but how do you exactly do this step by step? I want to just share with you a really special offer we have for Women's Council Realtors for our Get Social Smart Academy. So a few years ago, we realized that for most agents and brokers, social media and creating video content, it's really overwhelming and it can be really stressful. So we have an online program called Get Social Smart, and the link is right down here at the bottom. It's just getsocialsmart.com. And what you're looking at here is just a few screenshots from our academy. When you become a member of our academy, you can sign up monthly, you can sign up yearly, there's no contracts. And once you sign up, you have full access to all of our courses and all of our training, which is really exciting. So as far as what's included, when you become a member, you get full access to all of our social media training courses. It's on demand, so it's a lot like Netflix. You can watch it any day, anytime, anywhere. You also have access to our private community of top real estate professionals. And our academy is normally $97 a month or $970 for the year. But like I mentioned, we have a special offer for Women's Council of Realtors. Our special rate is only $67 a month or $670 for the year. And so the way that you're going to want to access that is we have a promo code. So you're going to want to go to getsocialsmart.com. And if you want to sign up monthly, you're going to add the promo code WCR monthly. Or if you want to sign up yearly, you can use the code WCR yearly to save. And that's all caps. And that'll automatically take a discount off of your membership. And I'm just going to drop this link in the chat here real quick so you guys can see that real fast. I'm going to put the link in there, and then I'm going to just put this in here so you can see what the promo codes are. And again, there's no contracts or anything like that. So you can sign up month to month, you can cancel anytime. As far as how it's different, it's really focused on real estate. It's practical, it's simple, step-by-step instructions. You learn at your own pace. We also update it monthly. And by the way, we know there's like no shortage of social media training that's out there. I was recently on Google and Googled social media for real estate, and there's 1.2 billion searches that are out there. But here's the challenge. A lot of that, unfortunately, is outdated, and it doesn't have to do with real estate. So we just really pride ourselves in having a place where agents and brokers can log in, they can get access if they want to figure out how to do Facebook ads or how to create video content or Instagram or anything we've been talking about. It's step by step. It's all up to date, and it has to do with real estate. So again, we're excited to bring you this special offer just for WCR members. Again, you're going to want to go to getsocialsmart.com, use the promo code WCR monthly or WCR yearly. Either one will save. And just as a bonus, the first 25 people who sign up for this will actually receive a free copy of my book, Get Social Smart. So for those of you who sign up today, we'll reach out to you. We'll get your mailing address. I published Get Social Smart last year. It became a best-selling new release over on Amazon. It's about a 250-page book, and it's really kind of the ultimate guidebook for getting smarter about social media. So we're going to open it up to questions here. I'm going to just take a quick peek at our time. We're getting close to the end. If you have any questions for me, put those in the chat. If you have additional questions for me about video marketing or social media, you can also reach me at katie@katielance.com. And I'm actually just going to go ahead and copy and paste that, put that in the chat also. So in case you'd like my email address, you can grab that as well. All right, so I'm going to look at our questions here. It doesn't look like I have any questions, which is awesome. Maybe you guys are just all busy taking notes, which is fantastic. So with that being said, we're going to wrap it up here in just a second. Like I mentioned at the beginning, this is being recorded, so if you missed any part of this, I know Women's Council will be sending this out to you in the next few days. If you have any other additional questions, feel free to reach out to me, just katie@katielance.com. We would love for you to be a part of our academy. If that's something that you're interested in, feel free to go to getsocialsmart.com, use those promo codes to check that out. Big thank you to Women's Council for inviting me to teach today on this webinar. Like I mentioned in the beginning, it's truly an honor. I'm a huge fan of Women's Council of Realtors. I think it is an amazing organization at a national, at a state, and a local level. I think you guys are doing some amazing, amazing things. So big thanks to WCR for inviting me to be here today. And I hope to see all of you again real soon. I'm sending all of you a virtual high five. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll talk to you real soon. Bye for now.